Colombia, the third most displaced country on the planet, as revealed by the Observatory on Internal Displacement and the Norwegian Refugee Center, 5.2 million Colombians were forced to leave their homes due to violence. Our correspondent Viviana Bello brings us the details.
Violence against farmers, indigenous and Afro-Colombian communities, especially against human rights defenders as well as former FARC fighters, places Colombia in third place in the world with the most internally displaced persons.
Around 89% of the victims have suffered from this situation. The second thing is that the departments of the Pacific Coast, as well as the border with Ecuador and Venezuela, are the areas most affected by forced displacement. And the third thing is that the humanitarian situation in Choco calls my attention. In approximately 10 years, 175,000 people were displaced in 100% of the municipalities, and especially in the regions of Baudó, San Juan, and Atrato.
The slow implementation of the peace agreement has allowed the civilian population to remain at the disposal of paramilitary structures, FARC residual groups, and agents of the security forces, who are also accused of serious human rights violations.
This situation, unfortunately, has some origins and some consequences for the failure of the national government to the situation and the implementation of the peace agreements, which allowed to change the living conditions, the forms of production, and others.
The border zone, the Pacific and the south of the country are the regions of Colombia where most displacement situations persist.
In January, for example, Arauca and north of Santander registered displacements due to disputes between armed actors. Also displacements of people coming from Venezuela, where Colombian groups have entered to break into their territories. The invasions and displacements not only affect the communities' departure from their territory or of people when they are displaced in particular, but also affect their way of life.
The majority of displaced persons are children. Colombia is second only to Syria and the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Viviana Bello, teleSUR, Bogotá, Colombia.